Welcome to Navigating Your 20s. I'm your host, Jess Hugo, and I am so excited to have you here. I'm an online personal trainer and nutritionist, but honestly, underneath it all, I am just a girl who is struggling, thriving, and surviving somehow all at once. So if this is you, you are not alone. If you want all the juicy tea on what it's like to be a girl navigating her 20s, I'm talking relationships, health, fitness, social life, work, and everything in between, then you're in the right place.
Hello queens, welcome back. For the girlies watching on YouTube or Spotify, just watching this podcast, let's address the elephant in the room. Where the hell is Lexi? Guys, I've been getting so many comments on YouTube about I can't even concentrate on anything you're saying. All I'm doing is looking at a dog. I know she steals the show, guys. She's so sick right now. It's really, really sad, but we've just got my laptop replacing her instead, which is weird for me. I never actually normally have my laptop up in front of me like this. So it's like, am I going to be looking at it? I don't know. A lot of the time, you guys would know, I just talk authentically from my brain. You can kind of tell there's no structure sometimes to my episodes because I would just be story timing, and I think that's what I love. Like anytime I listen to podcasts, I love them just chatting shit. I hate when people are like on their laptop like looking through the content that they've planned, and equally, yes, I come in with a plan, but in the same breath I'm like, no, I'm actually just kind of like doing my thing. And I think that's actually very much just navigating your 20s. So I love that. As you already know by the title of today, I really want to talk about being happy, being content with yourself, being content with your life and how your life is going. And I think this is a really prominent topic, even for me at the moment. Actually, do I go in with a life update? I just realized I have not told you girls on here, on the potty, my besties, about the retreat. What the hell? I think I should probably dedicate a whole episode to it because there was a lot, and I feel like I probably have so much more to say, but life-changing, absolutely life-changing. I met such amazing girls. I went in with no expectations, and I came out with lifelong friendships. I've been chatting to the girls so much since I've come home. I just feel like a different person. I felt like it was something I really, really needed to come back to myself. And, you know, I'm not woo-woo at all, and I hate when people say these types of things to sell something. First of all, I'm obviously not trying to sell it. It's not my retreat. Second of all, it just was like, it wasn't something that just developed in me. It was always there, but I almost was like losing it, especially this year, just with like so much going on. You guys already know I've been navigating a lot of different change within my business, within all of these things. I've been getting exciting opportunities. I've been wanting to take risks. I've been wanting to do all of the things, and I just felt like I was getting a little bit overwhelmed and not having a chance to like actually just zone in to what I wanted to do. And even just like showing up on my socials and stuff, there was some days there where I like wouldn't even have a story, which is so unlike me, because I'd be like so busy and have so much going on, and then just coming back from the retreat, I'm just like sharing. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to post on my story, I'm going to share my thoughts here. And it wasn't before like I'm scared to share. Before I just like was like, oh my god, I'm so busy, I don't have time. And I felt like really like my brain felt full. I felt at full capacity. And then coming back from it, I was like, oh my god, like this feels great. I feel clear, I feel this, I feel that. And I'm really hoping that you can kind of just tell as well from like looking at my Instagram or even watching this today and listening to this today, that just feels a bit more clear, because that is how I'm feeling. Something that kind of came up for me though is like, it's always one thing and then boom onto the another. Like we want to achieve a certain goal, we achieve that goal, and then we're ready to move on to the next thing. Or we say we really want like this friendship, this relationship, this job promotion, this pay rise, whatever the thing it may be. And then as soon as we get it, it's like, okay, cool, what's next? And it's very much like the hustle culture. This did kind of come up for me as well, being in the Sunshine Coast, because it is much more relaxed and chill in Queensland versus Sydney or New South Wales. And it almost felt really, really nice to just be like I just felt like at peace being there. Things are a bit slower there, but I loved it. Like, you know, the classic joke that everyone always is like, oh, that classic Queenslander, like so slow, so outdated. Like think about the airport in the Sunshine Coast. If you haven't been, for context, like they still have workers. At Sydney, it's like literally all like kiosks and self-serve, and you do your own tag and you do everything and put your bag in yourself. And then at Sunshine Coast, when I was flying home, they literally started work at like 10 o'clock, and there was like a line to physically get someone and get like an actual physical boarding pass and stuff. It was actually like honestly crazy. But I love that. And I was like, this is a sign to just slow down a bit and control what I can control in my life and slow down where I need to slow down. And I was kind of just accepting different things, changing different things I've been implementing and processing and all of the things. And then new opportunities came my way, which I'll talk more about soon. But I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, as soon as you let go of something, more arises. So I just want you to think on that first and foremost. But how can we actually be happy and content? And if something isn't moving right now and opportunities aren't arising, or you're manifesting a particular thing and it's not happening, like what are we supposed to do? And I want you to really think, as much as you want to change, as soon as something's not working, you want to pivot with whatever you're doing. Like, say your calorie deficit's not working, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to drop my calories even more. Say you are working for a job promotion and you're not getting noticed, and then instantly you're like, well, I need to do more, I need to do this, I need to do that more, I need to change this. Sometimes it's actually just sitting with it and not changing anything. And I think something I've been really, really noticing lately is the constant flopping from everyone. Every single girl in their 20s, probably guys as well, I don't really look at the guys, but girls in their 20s, it's constantly changing friendship groups, changing jobs, changing coaches, obsessing over different influences, being influenced by this person, then jumping on the hate train. Like, let's think about like how the whole Anna Paul thing went down, and like, this is not even my opinion, this is just like straight facts. Everyone went from full fangirls to absolutely haters, like absolute haters, hated everything to do with her. But let's not forget that you probably purchased from her collections and her brand, you probably got her toothpaste from Woolies, like, and there's no right or wrong in this situation. If that was you, there's no shame to it. But think of how hard you've like changed and flip-flopped the minute someone said something bad about her, or the minute you weren't happy with something. And it's like, can we actually just sit in and like what we like and be happy with what we want to be happy with? And of course, in that situation, kind of a shit example, because like the whole outcome and the evidence, like, no, we're not going to be like happy with that outcome. But equally, you don't need to chuck the products in the bin that you purchased. If you like the products, you can use the products. It's like, what is this shame spiral? Or like, even if you have I see a lot of people say that they've gone through different coaches before and they have had bad experiences. Did you have a bad experience, or were you in a mentally bad place? Because I know before I've like felt like I'd had shitty coaching experiences, but then I'm like, well, actually mentally I had a lot going on. I wasn't showing up for myself, and I actually am the only one that can do the work, and I was unhappy and I wasn't actually communicating that. Something I'm massive on, and I really hold my girls in Tone and Trendy to a higher standard, is communicate how you're actually feeling. If something is going on, even if it's in your personal life, it's none of my business. You don't need to share the juicy details of it, but let's actually have a conversation, because if you're dealing with it in private, it festers, and then you're going to like go crazy and lash out at probably your coach, at probably your boyfriend, whoever you're kind of close with and you're not communicating with. And I think we really need to be strong in like, first of all, let's just have a conversation. But second of all, let's like be fine with things not moving the way they're going to move, or the way we want them to move. Like, if your business isn't growing, if you're not losing the weight, if your friendship group isn't like growing, or you're trying to find a boyfriend and people are canceling the dates, let's just be happy with where we're at right now. And it's like, let's do a little reflection piece. And I was doing this earlier. How many times have you kind of sat with it for a minute and thought, oh my God, I just spent the last couple of months obsessing over my body, my weight, realizing like I hate everything in my life, but I also did nothing about it. I didn't do anything to change it. I just sat there really upset and angry the whole entire time. Again, there is no right or wrong with this, but like, if someone says to me, how was 2022 for you? I'm like, the fucking worst. I gained 10 kilos. I got diagnosed with PCOS. I was working at two shit jobs. Then got in a big fucking argument with someone at my other job. And I'm just like, that was a shit show, right? And see how it's all very negative? Like, I can't say anything positive about that time because I didn't really do much to change it. But then I can say like 2024, 2025, like this year so far has been such an amazing year. There's been such good things. And that doesn't mean that it's been all positive. That doesn't mean I haven't navigated some bad things, but where can we actually pull some positives out? Because it's like, we waste so much time fixating on negative things and then moving on so quickly from positive things that we're never truly happy. Literally, you can literally get a pay rise and you're like, okay, cool. Well, what's next? Instead of like, okay, cool, celebrate yourself. And very heavy on this. Every time girls come to me like that I train with, oh my God, I just lost 10 kilos. Oh my God, like these jeans just fit me. I'm like, you need to celebrate it. Even if you go and buy yourself like a new book, a new perfume, a new like mascara from your favorite, I don't even know, makeup line, like something so random, a new necklace, like something super random, and you're probably like, what the fuck, Jess, why are you saying that? Because it's a big fucking deal. It's not worth like brushing off. When have you ever achieved it? I remember specifically in my head right now as one of my clients, she was like, oh my God, I just lost 10 kilos. And I was like, have you ever been in this place before? And she was like, no, I always give up. I've never ever been able to stick to it before you. Like literally the only thing that's changed since every other time that I've tried is you. And I was like, we need to celebrate this because it's very, very important. And she kind of looked at me like, what the fuck? And I was like, it doesn't need to be a big celebration. Just, hey, I fucking did this and I'm going to reward myself for doing it. Because if you just brush it off, you're going to tell yourself without telling yourself, like you're going to subconsciously say to yourself like, oh, it wasn't even a big deal. But equally, we just spent the last 12 weeks working towards this 10 kilo weight loss. So you need to go out and buy yourself a new book or do something that makes you feel good. Buy yourself some lunch. It can be as little as literally just going out for lunch. But I want you to think like, I lost 10 kilos and I'm doing this because I did this for myself. Stop brushing off your massive wins. That's why we're never happy. Like I force myself now, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, to be happy. If I reach new milestones in business, if I get new opportunities, if I push myself outside of my comfort zone, I'm like, I'm fucking here doing it. I literally said to the girls at the retreat, by the way, all strangers. I actually think I need to do a whole episode on this because you probably don't get the context, but they're all strangers. Also, I'm so sorry. My nose is running. I'm not picking it. It's running. All strangers. And I was like, guys, this is my first ever solo trip for my business. Like I was just sharing the fucking wins. They probably were like, shut up, who is this bitch? But I was like, I need to celebrate this. I've never gone solo traveling, even if it was just to another state. I've never gone traveling. I've never gone on the plane by myself like solo. I've never stayed at a hotel solo. I never booked the whole trip all by myself. Like I booked my hotel by myself. I, navigated the public transport there all by myself. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, this is a big deal. Like I have to always kind of come into the moment now and be like, guys, like I just did this, even though it might be something so minuscule. And it's because we're always looking ahead. I probably could have sat there and thought, I'm going to get back home and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that in my business. Boring. No, I'm going to sit with the fact like, oh my fucking God, I just did this and that. And a lot of girls were like, oh, I wish I booked to stay longer in the Sunshine Coast and things like that to really sit with it. And I was like, go home, write a reflection piece and really like just come into it. Like I've made a post about it already, but like I don't think that me 20 kilos ago could have really gone on this retreat and found that happiness in that and felt comfortable with a bunch of strangers. So I think that is really important to celebrate as well, because we're always thinking ahead. And then we're always thinking the grass is greener on the other side. You might be unhappy in your friendships right now, relationships, workplace. It doesn't actually mean going elsewhere is going to be a different outcome, especially if you're not looking at yourself in the mirror. As I said before, I've been unhappy in coaching things before because I wasn't looking at myself in the mirror and realizing I was the problem. I was festering and not being happy and then blaming others. So find out first and foremost what actually makes you happy and stop fucking cosplaying it. I think we all pretend that something makes us happy when it doesn't even make us happy, or we might be kind of navigating a hard, shitty season right now and we're thinking, oh my God, like when is it gonna fucking end? But every chapter serves a new purpose and serves a different purpose. And right now you might be really going through it. You might feel like, I don't even know the last time I felt happiness, but that actually is okay. Because maybe this chapter is going to lead you into something else. Maybe it's really serving a purpose for the time being and it's a sign that something needs to change. And I know this is getting woo-woo, but I'm very much on like leaning into the uncomfortability, leaning into the stage that feels a little bit whack right now and figuring out where you're going to fucking go with it. Because you don't actually just like arrive at being happy and content. You don't just wake up one day and be like, I'm so happy, I'm so content. No, like you actually have to put in the fucking work to be there. And it, like, don't think of like getting from A to Z. Think A to B. How am I going to get to B? How am I intentionally going to show up today and put in like 1% more than yesterday? Does that make sense? Like it's just like being really heavy on the commitment and the consistency without the overwhelm. And something I always talk about is simplicity in business. Business girl, well, I do talk about simplicity in business, but I actually meant to say in your life. I don't know how the hell I started talking about business, guys. Can you tell? Anyway, it's like being able to really simplify and pull apart everything and create a really seamless routine, right? So it's like right now you want to get into the gym, for example. Can we just go 1 to 2 times a week? Can we just start looking at how we're eating and seeing if we're getting enough fruit and veg in? Can we just start looking at our protein intake and figuring out, are we getting protein in every single meal? Can we look at maybe going to bed half an hour earlier? And I know you've heard this 1,000 times before, and you're probably like, girl, like, tell me something I don't know. You've already told me this. I've heard this from 1,001 different people. I don't want to hear this anymore. But where are you not doing those things? Because I know myself, I sometimes neglect a Sunday ritual. I sometimes don't write my to-do list on a Sunday, and I think about it and I still don't fucking do it. And then I wake up Monday chaotic, feeling like I have a lot of things on my to-do list, feeling like I have a lot to get done. And it's like, I need to start setting these tiny little building blocks and almost foundations to be able to move forward in my things. So if your goal is right now getting more happiness around your friendships, where can you actually plan to hang out with your friends in advance? Where can you sit down with yourself and think, I really want to go to this thing, I'm going to invite my friend. I have a perfect example. On the weekend, I saw this market and they were doing a pooch parade, which I didn't put my dog in because she's sick, as I said, but I was like, this is so iconic. And then I said to my friend, do you want to go for a walk and go to this pooch parade and get a coffee and whatever? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, cool, like, let's go on the weekend. So I just saw this event page and then made plans with my friend and like based it around this event, if that makes sense. And it was like not a big deal. It was like a 3-hour thing max. It wasn't this massive commitment, but it was like that small stepping stone of, I went out of my way, I messaged her, I like did it around event so that we had a purpose, and that was it. You know what I mean? And like, can you be happy and content with that? Or are you going to look at that and think that's so boring? Like, who would want to do that? Why would you want to sit at that? That's like XYZ. Insert all of the limiting beliefs, right? Where can you meet yourself where you're at? Because for me, I know that when I move daily, I nourish my body, I create connections and make sure that I actually am leaving the house. And I say this because I obviously work from home. When I do my sessions, they're from home, so girls come to me, and it's hard for me to like be able to leave the house when I have sessions on all the time, obviously, because I need to be here. And I felt like sometimes, and this was a bit of a reflection at the retreat, I was like, I am not leaving my house enough because I don't have the time. But then I know that I hold back when I could be going out. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. I'm like filling my day with random shit. But I also know how good it would be if I actually just got out of the house, right? So it's like, okay, we know what we need to implement. We know what we are lacking with, because I'm not going to say, oh, I need to nourish my body. I know I already nourish my body, but I know that I'm missing, and the missing link for me is like making sure I get outside more and leave the house more, or even like wearing nicer clothes, not living in my activewear all the time, and just making sure that I walk in new places and don't always go the same routes every single day if I can avoid it. You know what I mean? Like on the weekends, I'll venture out a little bit further so that I can make sure that I am just getting a fresh new routine and being able to kind of just like live in the moment and be happy with what I have in the moment. You know what I mean? And I didn't have to spend any money to do any of these things. I didn't have to, go out of my way to do anything. I just went a little bit further and I used my time a little bit more wisely and just decided to pick happiness out of a new location. And sometimes it looks really messy. Like I literally posted the other day in Centennial Park. And one of my friends was like, oh my God, where were you? Like on your story, like really changing up your routine. And I was like, I know that it looked like from the outside, like, oh my God, she's on a walk in Centennial Park. But like what actually happened behind the scenes, which only like my friends would find out, you girls are my friends, is like my partner got a call out in Centennial Park. And then it was around the corner from like the park. And so I went with him in his work vehicle, and he like literally dropped me off in some random street. And then I walked up to the park, and then I like had been in the park probably for like 10 minutes. And then he called me and he was like, I'm finished. Like, I'll wait for you in the car. And then so I'm like, what the fuck? I've been in the park for 10 minutes. And then I quickly run back and got in the car and like left. And I was like, this was literally, I ended up walking for half an hour, but I was like, this was literally such a waste of time. Like I literally was in the park for probably 10 minutes. But people don't know that, right? Again, with the social media highlight reel, she was like, that was such like a nice looking walk, because I posted a video on the walk. And obviously I posted the video before I knew that I had to turn back on all of the things. But I just think it's so funny that like I was complaining, but from her point of view, she was like, oh my God, like you changed up your scenery, like she's a changed woman, like how was the vibes, blah, 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 blah. So I could have been like, oh my God, it was so shit, I was only in the park for like half an hour. But it's like, I was in the park for half an hour. Why are we not happy with these small things? You know what I mean? Build the life you love. Do the things you want to do. You know what something I wrote, and I want to reflect back to you. This is heavy on the weight loss piece, but weight loss isn't just about the scale. It's about not changing your outfit 5 times before date night and overthinking every single thing about how you look, how you smell, how your makeup looks, looking in the mirror from the side, sticking your stomach out, sucking it back in, seeing how you fucking look. I know you've been there. Actually saying yes to last minute plans. I hate it sometimes, but I go. Like, sometimes my partner will be like, oh, do you want to go here? I'm like, no, it is so late, it is so cold, it is so dark, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to get ready, that sounds like so much effort. Say yes. Just say yes. You actually never know. And he said to me the other day, he was like, because I was like, I don't want to go to the fucking shops. Like, I don't want to go to the fucking shops. That's so shit. I don't want to do that. And then he was like, but every time we go to the shops, then we'll end up like somewhere else, or we'll go here and we'll go there, which is so true. So true. And when he said that, I was like, you're right. You're literally right. I'm just being annoying because I don't want to go. Lastly, weight loss isn't just about the scale. It's about feeling proud when you catch yourself in your reflection. So you know the piece I was just saying before about how you will fester and you'll look in the mirror and you'll suck your stomach out, you'll suck your stomach in, and you're looking like side-eyeing yourself in the mirror, like seeing what you look like. No. Why can't you just look in the mirror and be happy with where you're at? And if right now you're saying, because like I hate how I look, what foundations and building blocks can we build right now to be happy that we started the process? Because we can't go A to Z. It's A to B. You need to do the work, but you also need to surround yourself with the people that do the work. This is what really lit something up for me at the retreat as well. Every single person that was there was a business owner, and they were there to work on their business, grow their business, be better at business, like talk about business. So I felt really aligned talking with those people, because obviously I'm like, my friends, they don't run businesses. Fine. I love that. I love having friends outside of it anyway, because it doesn't need to be on my mind 24/7. But sometimes it can get really lonely. You don't have anyone to talk to about it. And I don't know if I should talk more about business on here or not, because I did go for a walk with someone that came from the podcast. Like, she messaged me and was like, I just found your podcast, whatever. And then weirdly enough, she lived in Sunshine. I was flying to Sunshine. It's a long story. I should put it in the retreat recap. But she was like literally talking about like, I don't know, do I run a business? Do I start a business? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, insane that like this conversation was brought to me, kind of just because I am not a business mentor or anything. I'm just a girl in her 20s who runs a business and is navigating that. So I'm by no means an expert, but I don't talk about it much, because I think, oh, I don't know anyone that's running a business. Like, I don't know many people doing it. I don't talk to many people about it. And that's just not actually the case. Like, yes, a lot of my close friends don't run businesses, but that doesn't mean you're not listening to this because you're curious about how I run a business and things like that as well. So it's like, how can you surround yourself by the people doing the work? For me, it was going to the retreat. For me, I don't need help in the health and fitness department. Like, I know what I'm doing in that, but I know that I need help from people doing better than me in business. So it's like going and learning from others, talking about each other's goals and cheering each other on. And like, even some of those girls are probably like direct competition, like their other PTs that were there, like quote unquote direct competition. Like, I didn't view them as competition. I was like, there's space for all of us, and I just want to learn from others who are doing the work. Hence why I was there, because it was like, I need to be brought into a place where I'm a small fish. I don't want to feel like a big fish. And as much as I just said, like, I know that I have more to learn, I don't know everything, you can feel like a big fish if you're not surrounded by people that are doing the thing. So you need to be in a place of, if all your friends are drinking and doing drugs on the weekend and you want to get off the drugs, get off the drinking and like lose weight, why the fuck are you still surrounding yourself with those people? Like, you need to find new people. And I know it's really hard. Like, where the fuck do you find new people? Is it the gym? Is it this? Is it that? Do you know how many friendships I've made of girls coming to me as their PT? I think you just need to hire a PT, and then you've got a brand new friend in their whole fucking community group. I actually think like I'm doing God's work, bringing all my clients together. Weirdly enough, I did the community walk, as you girls know. One of my clients ran into one of my friend who was at the walk. Weird, I know, weird, like da da da, but they ran into each other without me. Of course they talked about me because I'm like the common denominator, but you know what I mean? It's just like literally so crazy, such a small world. You never know who you're going to run into that has the same interests as you. But heavy on, happiness comes from celebrating progress, not perfection. Hannah Montana debunked that. Literally nobody's perfect. It's about actually noticing the 1%ers, the small wins. Do you know how many girls I know that are constantly looking to be skinnier, but they're already so tiny, constantly looking for the next weight loss hack, but they're not even nourishing their mindset and their mental health, constantly looking for another thing to focus on when they're not even excelling at the thing in front of them. Wins for me can be so little. You made your bed this week. You woke up to your alarm every single time, like on the time, every single time this week. You didn't snooze it. You felt hot as fuck when you looked in the mirror. You're dating again. One of my clients is dating. She's dating. And she literally was like, I just put on this outfit for this date night tonight and I felt fucking hot. These jeans haven't fit me in months. And I was like, like, this is what it's all about for me. And it's like really just appreciating that moment and being really, really grateful for where you're at, what you're achieving, and celebrate the small wins. Stop discounting yourself. You are so much better than that. Stop telling yourself that what you've done is not good enough. Just because someone else might not celebrate it, you need to celebrate it. Trust me, I am my biggest hype girl. No one else is celebrating me. No one else gives a fuck. It's me. It comes from me. So I know a lot of you are struggling with this right now. I just really want you to sit in the moment and be happy with where you're at. And if you're not happy with it, start implementing some changes. Just go ahead and implement some little things today. Even if it is so simple, I don't even care. But I'm going to set you a task. I want you to go away from this episode and write down, do it right now actually, go into your notes, write down 3 things that you have had on your mind. They've kind of been festering. You've been wanting to like implement them and work on them, but you've been avoidant and haven't. I want you to write them down, even if they're so basic. I'm going to go 3 right now off the top of my head. Cleaning my room. She's a hot mess again. You guys know I'm terrible at keeping this room clean for some reason. I don't know why, but I came back from my trip. I unpacked my bag and just put shit everywhere. So 1, cleaning my room. I'm going to implement picking up something every single day as well, so that things don't just get into massive heaps on the fucking ground. Second of all, actually getting my steps done earlier in the day and not leaving them to the end of the day, because recently I've been quite busy and not being great with time management, and then some of my steps have been at the end of the day and it's been hell and really annoying. And thirdly, actually eating my meal prep. The other day I realized that I left some chicken in there and I was pissed at myself. I was like, girl, that chicken's so yummy, now it's so off, like what are you doing? And these sound so silly, I know, but why would I say I'm going to train 7 days this week, I'm going to do 18,000 steps, and I'm going to do 50 minutes on the bike? That's crazy, girl. That is literally crazy. And that sounds unhappy to me. That is not the vibe. But if any of this resonated to you and you're really wanting me to talk more on the retreat and things like that, just let me know. And if you want to hear more about business, let me know, because I don't know what you girls come here for. Like, are you here for the fitness? Are you here for the just everything in your 20s? Do you want to know more about like what it's like running a business at 23 fucking years old? There's a lot going on. But if you did enjoy today's episode, please rate the podcast 5 stars. It really helps me grow here on Spotify, and I am so thankful for you girls that are constantly listening in, sharing the podcast on your socials, and rating the podcast. It actually means the world to me, because I'm just a girl. Equally, if anything resonated with you in the health and fitness terms of things, I have a couple of spots open for Turned and Trendy this month. So if you're wanting to come in, this is what we work on. It's heavy on the mindset. A lot of people talk about, 20% weight training or 20% exercise and 80% nutrition. I'm like, girl, it's 100% mindset. That's where we start, because you never realize how much your mindset is actually holding you back from achieving the things you want to achieve. And it tricks you. Your brain plays tricks on you. Your brain doesn't want you to be happy. Your brain is literally just like more, right? It's the dopamine. If you don't know much about the dopamine, I did a whole episode on that as well. But like, let's actually create the woman that you put on your vision board. Let's hone in for the last couple of months of the year on like where you actually envisioned yourself being this year. Heavy on doing the work and celebrating yourself, but also making sure you surround yourself around the people that push you to do more. Where is that missing right now? I know for me, I just said like I'm going, but I'm still yapping. What's wrong with me? I actually just reached out to someone today. And I was like, I want to do this. I'm a complete beginner. Like, can you take me on? Like, what's the vibes? Let me know. And they were like, yes. And I was like, perfect. Like, literally, what the hell? But imagine if I just stayed in that I'm too scared, I'm a beginner, or I can't find anyone around me. No, because I have already researched for this thing like 3 times, and I kept coming to the conclusion I don't know anyone that offers it. I don't want to travel like 45 minutes for it, blah blah blah, like all the excuses, which are valid, but and then I messaged someone today and was like, do you know anyone? And they were like, I'll help you. And I was like, perfect. See you there. So watch this space on different things I'm going to be implementing and doing, because I am not a hypocrite. If I tell you to do something, best believe that I've done it first, or I'm navigating it at the same time. So please remember that yes, your 20s are for making mistakes. Shit is going to happen all the time, but I want you to celebrate where you're at. That is all from me, and I will catch you all in the next episode. Hopefully I will be with Lexi as well, my bestie. See you guys. Mwah. That's a wrap on another episode of Navigating Your 20s. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to listen. If you enjoyed the conversation, vibes, and got something out of today, please feel free to send me a DM with any key takeaways and feedback, or share on your socials and tag me so we can connect. If you liked today's episode and you're wanting more from me, you can find me on all socials at success.withjess.